the transformative power of positive thoughts today. I want to take you on a fascinating journey, a deep reflection on something we all experience daily, our thoughts. They have incredible power, capable of shaping not only our mind, but also our body and the way we see the world. Let's explore together how positive thoughts can be powerful allies, while negative thoughts can trap us. Get ready for an engaging conversation that will spark curiosity and, who knows, change the way you perceive life. The nature of positive thoughts. Have you ever noticed how a positive thought feels light, almost like a gentle breeze? It doesn't keep pounding in our heads, demanding attention all the time. Unlike negative thoughts, which seem to want to multiply like weeds, positive thoughts have a special quality. They are simple, direct, and do not seek to dominate our mind. It's as if they were saying, hey, life can be amazing. And with that, guide us to richer experiences. Think of a time when you simply looked around and thought, what a beautiful day. This type of thinking does not try to take over everything. It just points to something good, like a sign showing the way to a special place. And that's what makes positive thoughts so powerful. They invite us to enjoy life without overwhelming us. The impact of thoughts on our body now. Let's talk about something that science is already beginning to recognize. Our thoughts directly affect our physical well-being. When we're stuck in a spiral of negative thoughts, we feel it in our bodies, don't we? The heart races, the shoulders tense, the head feels heavy. It's as if a blocked energy is reverberating within us, disrupting the natural flow of life. On the other hand, when we cultivate positive thoughts, our body responds differently. He relaxes, his breathing becomes lighter, and we feel an internal harmony. It's almost as if our body thanks us for giving it a moment of peace. Conventional medicine, even if with some caution, already admits this connection between mind and body. And, let's face it, we all prefer to feel good, don't we? Why are negative thoughts so sticky? Here's a question for you. Why do negative thoughts seem to stick to our minds like gum on a shoe? They have an interesting characteristic. They like to reproduce. One bad thought leads to another, and suddenly we're caught in a web of worries, fears, and frustrations. It's as if they feed on our attention, growing more and more. Already positive thoughts, they don't have that need for the spotlight. They are like a soft light that shines without needing to overshadow everything around it. They guide us, but they don't require us to obsess over them. And that is liberating. Imagine what it would be like if, instead of getting stuck in loops of negativity, we let positive thoughts guide us to a state of calm and clarity. The mental virus trapped now. I'm going to tell you something that might make you reflect. Some negative thoughts can act like true mental viruses. They not only take over our minds, but they can also spread throughout entire groups, families, communities, even nations. Think about ideas that become collective obsessions, like conspiracy theories or political polarization. They start with a small seed, but if we pay attention, they grow and distort the way we see the world. Spending a lot of time on the internet, for example, can be a breeding ground for these viruses. You read something that seems convincing, and that's it. That thought starts to grow in your head, shaping your perception of reality. I'm not saying that everything on the internet is bad, but we need to be careful not to get carried away by ideas that throw us off balance. How to change the key from negative to positives. So how can we escape this trap and cultivate more positive thoughts? The first thing is to realize that positive thoughts, however pleasant they may be, are not the final solution. They are great guides, but true transformation comes from something deeper, presence in the current moment. When we are truly present, we observe our thoughts without identifying with them. It's as if we were watching a movie, watching ideas pass through the screen of our mind without getting involved in the plot. This presence gives us the freedom to choose which thoughts we want to welcome and which we want to let go. And here's a practical tip. Start practicing gratitude. It's not just saying thank you for politeness. It's looking at the world with new eyes, noticing the small wonders of everyday life, the way the sunlight reflects on the window, the sound of water falling into the glass, the feeling of being alive. When we do this, gratitude becomes a lens that transforms everything around us into something valuable. The power of presence. I want you to imagine the presence as a flashlight that illuminates the darkest corners of our mind. When we are present, we are not dragged by the past or anxious about the future. We are here, now, living each moment fully. And the most incredible thing, the more we practice this presence, the less space there is for negative thoughts. This awareness gives us the clarity to recognize negative patterns before they become habits. It's like noticing that a weed is starting to grow in the garden and pulling it out before it spreads. Over time, this practice connects us to an inner wisdom, a voice that guides us to choices that nourish the soul. A continuous journey in my personal experience has taught me something valuable. The moments when I am most present are the moments when I feel unspeakable peace. It's as if the world makes sense, even if for a few moments. And this feeling isn't something we keep to ourselves. It spreads, inspiring those around us. This journey of cultivating presence and positive thoughts is not an isolated event. It is an ongoing process, a daily choice to live with intention and courage. Each small act of presence is like a seed we plant, and over time, these seeds blossom into a fuller, more meaningful life, an invitation to the future I want to leave. You with a reflection. Within each of us, there is a universe of possibilities. By choosing to live with presence and gratitude, you not only transform your own reality, but you also become beacons for those around you. So, embrace this journey with curiosity and confidence. You have the power to create a life full of purpose, joy, and love. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. If this message touched you, how about leaving a comment, telling us how presence or gratitude has already made a difference in your life? And if you think this reflection can inspire other people, share it with those who need to hear it. Let's spread this light together. Gratitude as a transformer. Let's dive a little deeper into something I mentioned before. Gratitude. She's not just a cute word we use to sound polite. No, gratitude is a powerful force, capable of changing the way we perceive the world. When we stop to appreciate simple things like the smell of coffee in the morning, the sound of birds, or even the fact that we have a roof over our heads, something magical happens. Our perspective changes, and what once seemed ordinary takes on a special shine. I want you to try something now. Think of one small thing from your day that brought a smile to your face. It could be a moment with a loved one, delicious food, or even the feeling of the wind on your face. Did you feel this lightness? This is gratitude in action. 8. It does not require large events. It transforms the everyday into something extraordinary. And for an audience between 34 and 70 years old, this practice is even more valuable because over time, we learn to value these little jewels in life, the signs of spiritual awakening. Now, I want to talk about a moment that many of us have already experienced without even realizing it. Spiritual awakening. You know that moment when you look at yourself and think, wow, I was stuck in a loop of negative thoughts and didn't even realize it. It's as if a veil is lifted and you begin to see your own mental patterns clearly. This is the starting point for an incredible journey. It's not about becoming perfect or never having a bad thought again. It's about becoming an observer of your own mind. Have you ever stopped to think about how your thoughts shape the way you see people, the world, even yourself? When we begin to question these patterns, we open space for new awareness. And this awareness is like a key that unlocks doors to a richer and more meaningful life. Freedom beyond thoughts. Here's something that might surprise you. Positive thoughts are wonderful, but true freedom lies beyond them. It's as if thoughts are guides pointing the way. But the final destination is a place where the mind is silent and we simply are. In this space, we do not need to hold on to any thoughts, positive or negative. We are present, connected with the essence of life. Have you ever had a moment when everything seemed to be in the right place, effortlessly? Maybe during a sunset, a peaceful walk, or a deep conversation with someone special. This is the power of presence. It frees us from the chains of mental viruses. It allows us to live more lightly. And the best part, the more we practice, the more natural it becomes. How to practice presence in everyday life? You may be asking yourself, okay, but how do I bring this presence into my everyday life? Don't worry, there's no need to become a monk or meditate for hours. Small actions can make a big difference. Here are some ideas for you to try. Breathe carefully. When you feel like your thoughts are racing, stop for a minute and focus on your breathing. Feel the air coming in and out. Simple but powerful. Observe without judging. The next time a negative thought appears, try observing it as if it were a cloud passing in the sky. Don't get involved, just let him go. Create gratitude reminders. It could be a note on the mirror or an alarm on your cell phone that says, "What made me smile today?" These reminders help you stay focused on the good. Connect with nature if you can. Spend a few minutes outdoors. Observe the trees, the sky, the movement of life. Nature has a unique way of bringing us back to the now. These practices are accessible to everyone, regardless of age or routine. And for my 34 to 70-year-old audience, are especially relevant because they bring a sense of calm and purpose that resonates with the life experiences you've already accumulated. The impact on our relationships, another fascinating aspect of this journey, is how it transforms our relationships. When we are more present, we become better listeners, more empathetic, more open. Have you ever noticed how a calm and centered person seems to light up the environment? This is what happens when we live with intention. Our interactions with friends, family, even strangers take on a different quality. And that's not all. By cultivating positive thoughts and presence, we inspire others to do the same. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond. The ripples spread out, touching everything around them. So, by working on yourself, you are, without realizing it, contributing to a more conscious and connected world. A call to action. I want to close with an invitation. Starting today, choose a moment of the day to practice presence or gratitude. It could be when you wake up, during lunch, or before bed. Ask yourself, what can I appreciate right now? How can I be more present? Write down what you feel, because these small reflections add up and create a profound change. You have within you unlimited potential to transform not only your own life, but also the world around you. Every step you take on this journey is a victory, a testament to your ability to grow, connect, and flourish. So, follow with courage, curiosity, and, above all, with the certainty that you are on the right path. Thank you for being here, for sharing this reflection with me. If this message made sense to you, leave a comment telling us how presence or gratitude has appeared in your life. And if you feel that this conversation can touch other people, share it with those who need to hear it. Let's spread this positive energy together. The transformative power of positive thoughts today. I want to invite you on a unique journey, deep reflection on something that is always with us, our thoughts. They have incredible strength, capable of shaping our mind, our body, and even the way we see the world. Let's explore together the power of positive thoughts. Understand why negative thoughts are so sticky, and discover how we can live lighter and more consciously. Get ready for a conversation that will spark curiosity, inspire, and, who knows, change the way you perceive life. This is a story for all ages, especially for you between 34 and 70 years old, who bring the wisdom of so many experiences, the lightness of positive thoughts. Have you ever noticed how a positive thought seems to float in your mind like a feather in the wind? He doesn't scream for attention, nor does he try to dominate everything around him. It's different from negative thoughts, which stick in your head as if they wanted to live there forever. Positive thoughts have a special quality. They are simple, direct, and point us towards something good. When you think, "What a beautiful day," or "I'm grateful to be here," it's as if a soft light turns on, guiding you to enjoy life without complications. Think of a time when you looked up at the sky, felt the breeze, or smiled at something small. This thought didn't try to take over everything, right? He just opened a door for you to feel the beauty of the moment. And that's what makes positive thoughts so powerful. They're like signposts pointing the way to richer experiences without requiring you to get stuck in them. The body says what the mind feels now. I want you to reflect on something that even science already recognizes. Our thoughts affect our body. When we are stuck in a spiral of worries or bad thoughts, we feel it physically. The chest tightens, the shoulders become tense, the head feels heavy. It's as if a blocked energy is hindering the natural flow within us. Has anyone here ever felt this? I bet so. On the other hand, when we cultivate positive thoughts, the body responds lightly. Breathing becomes calmer, the heart slows down, and we feel an internal harmony. It's as if the body is saying, "Thank you for giving me a moment of peace." Medicine is beginning to understand this connection between mind and body. And even if some doctors are cautious, we all know that feeling good makes a difference. After all, who would rather dwell on bad thoughts instead of opening up to something that brings relief? Why do negatives insist so much? Here's a question for you. Why are negative thoughts so hard to let go of? They have a way of multiplying, like weeds in a garden. One bad thought leads to another, and before we know it, we are trapped in a web of fear, frustration, or anxiety. It's as if they feed on our attention, growing more and more already positive thoughts. They don't have this need to steal the spotlight. They are like a candle lit in a corner. They illuminate without having to overshadow everything. They guide us to a state of calm, but they don't require us to obsess over them. Imagine what it would be like if, instead of getting stuck in loops of negativity, we let positive thoughts take us to a place of peace and clarity. Sounds good, right? The mental viruses that surround us now. I'm going to tell you something that might make you think. Some negative thoughts act like mental viruses. They not only take over our heads, but can spread throughout entire groups, families, friends, even societies. Think about ideas that have become collective obsessions, such as conspiracy theories or political divisions. It all starts with a small seed, but if we give it space, it grows and distorts the way we see the world. The internet, for example, can be a fertile ground for these viruses. You read something that seems convincing, and that's it. That thought begins to take root, shaping your view of reality. I'm not saying that everything online is bad, okay? But we need to be careful not to get carried away by ideas that throw us off balance. If you've ever stopped to think about how news or a post can change your mood in seconds, it's a sign of how influenceable our mind is, changing the key from negative to positives. So how can we escape these traps and cultivate more positive thoughts? The answer starts with something simple but transformative: presence. When we are present, truly connected to the current moment, we begin to observe our thoughts without getting carried away by them. It's like watching a movie without getting involved in the plot. You see the scenes, but you don't get lost in them. And here's a powerful tool for this journey: gratitude. It's not just saying thank you for politeness. It's looking at the world with new eyes, noticing the small wonders of everyday life. It could be the sunlight coming through the window, the sound of water falling into the glass, or the smile of a loved one. When we do this, gratitude becomes a lens that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. And for those of you between 34 and 70 years old, this practice is even more special because life experience brings a unique appreciation for these details. The magic of presence. I want you to imagine the presence as a flashlight that illuminates the darkest corners of our mind. When we are present, we are not dragged by the past or worried about the future. We are here, now, living each moment fully. And the most incredible thing, the more we practice, the less space there is for negative thoughts. This awareness gives us the clarity to recognize bad patterns before they become habits. It's like noticing a weed in the garden and pulling it out before it spreads. So over time, presence connects us to an inner wisdom, a voice that guides us to choices that nourish the soul. Have you ever had a moment when everything seemed to be in the right place, effortlessly? Maybe during a sunset or a deep conversation. This is the power of presence. Simple practices for everyday life. You may be thinking, okay, but how do I bring this presence into my routine? You don't need to become a monk or meditate for hours. Small actions can change everything. Here are some practical ideas. Breathe carefully. When you feel your mind racing, stop for a minute and focus on your breathing. Feel the air coming in and out. It's simple but powerful. Observe without judging. When a negative thought arises, try to see it as a cloud in the sky. Don't get involved. Just let them pass. Create gratitude reminders. Write a note or set an alarm on your cell phone with a question. What made me smile today? This helps you stay focused on the good. Connect with nature. If you can, spend a few minutes outdoors. Observe the trees, the sky, the life around. Nature brings us back to the now. Thank you for sharing this reflection with me. If this message touched you, leave a comment telling us how presence or gratitude has already made a difference in your life. And if you think this conversation can inspire others, share it with those who need to hear it. Spread this light together.